WWE lovers, welcome to Pinfall Headlines, your source for match recaps and breaking wrestling news. Hit that bell and let's roll. WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas delivered one of the most unpredictable main events in WWE history. A chaotic collision of storytelling, betrayal, alliances, and drama that nobody could have scripted better. Minutes before the bell rang for the massive triple threat main event featuring Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, the commentary team teased the biggest question of the night. Paul Heyman was standing in CM Punk's corner instead of his longtime tribal chief. From the moment Michael Cole wondered aloud whose side Heyman was really on, fans knew something explosive was coming. But what unfolded went far beyond anything the WWE Universe expected. A main event overflowing, with high-voltage action. Before the betrayal, before the chaos, and before the twists, the match itself was already shaping up to be an all-time WrestleMania classic. Seth Rollins countered a spear from Roman Reigns into a perfect pedigree, followed by a stomp that sent CM Punk tumbling out of the ring. Yet even after that sequence, Reigns still kicked out at 2, and Allegiant Stadium shook like it was about to collapse. Moments later, Rollins was speared through the barricade. Punk rushed in with a GTS to Reigns that somehow didn't finish the job, and the crowd reached a fever pitch. Punk himself later kicked out of a pedigree, escalating the drama to levels rarely seen even on WWE's grandest stage. Roman Reigns torn allegiance in the heat of battle. Much of the emotional power of the match came from Roman Reigns' internal conflict. Rollins attempted to convince the tribal chief to team with him for a moment, arguing that Punk was the bigger threat. Reigns, torn between the past and the present, seemed to agree for a moment, calling for Rollins to lift Punk for a powerbomb through the announce table. But in true Roman fashion, he betrayed both men in a split-second twist, dropping Rollins with a shocking punch before powerbombing Punk through a table, then repeating the same fate on Rollins through another back in the ring. Even after enduring finishes from both opponents, Reigns still fought back, and for a moment it looked like the tribal chief might once again hold the entire world in his palm. Paul Heyman steps in and chaos takes over. When the match reached its most heated moment, Paul Heyman finally made his move. He grabbed a steel chair and walked slowly toward the ring. Both Punk and Reigns demanding the weapon, Heyman slid the chair to Punk, stepping into the ring and motioning for Punk to strike Roman. What seemed like Heyman pledging loyalty to Punk stunned the crowd, but the twist came instantly. Heyman dropped Punk with a low blow and confessed his allegiance to Reigns with the words, "I acknowledge you, my tribal chief." For a moment, it looked like the wise man had reunited with his champion in dramatic WrestleMania fashion, a second betrayal that nobody saw coming. Just seconds after presenting the chair to Reigns, Heyman shocked the world again. As Roman turned, preparing to deliver a chair shot aimed at Seth Rollins, symbolic of Rollins breaking up the Shield years earlier, Heyman dropped to his knees and struck Reigns with a low blow of his own. The crowd erupted into pure disbelief. Heyman then handed the steel chair to Rollins, walked to a corner, and sat down to watch the drama unfold. Rollins crashed the chair into Roman's back one more time before landing a curb stomp and pinning Reigns to win the match. In a matter of seconds, Paul Heyman had manipulated all three men and changed the future trajectory of WWE. The wise men who once built empires had burned every bridge in one night. Ronda Rousey's tease of a comeback adds fuel to the fire. Elsewhere in the WWE Universe, Ronda Rousey has sparked major conversation by hinting at a return. After taking time off to focus on family and motherhood, Rousey has been posting training clips on social media, fueling speculation about her next move. She has often criticized how her early WWE matches were handled and expressed dissatisfaction with the former leadership. But with Paul Levesque now guiding the creative vision, fans believe this may be the most welcoming environment for her return. Rousey, despite polarizing reactions, remains a global name with credibility few athletes possess. If she steps back into the ring, it opens doors not only for blockbuster singles matches, but also for the rumored Evolution 2 event, possibly reuniting her with names like Nikki Bella in a long-awaited sequel to their historic showdown. Why Ronda's WWE legacy sparks debate? Ronda Rousey's WWE run is often judged through two different lenses. On one hand, she brought unmatched athletic legitimacy, explosive power, and massive mainstream recognition. On the other, her promos occasionally felt unnatural and stiff, making it difficult for her to connect to the audience the way she did inside the octagon. Her matches were strong, her championship runs memorable, but her overall presence in WWE's entertainment-centric environment was a work in progress. Regardless, when WrestleMania moments are discussed, Becky Lynch pinning her at WrestleMania 35, for example, Rousey's name sticks among the biggest talking points WrestleMania's history of unique and unpredictable. Main events, WrestleMania has always been the home of legendary clashes, but the structure of its main events has changed over time. Since the pandemic era began in 2020, WrestleMania has expanded to a two-night spectacle, giving more performers the chance to headline. While one-on-one matches remain the norm, multi-person main events have delivered unforgettable moments, both good and controversial. The WrestleMania 2000 Fatal 4-Way, which involved the entire McMahon family at ringside, looked like a spectacle on paper, but ultimately delivered a mixed reaction. Triple H, retaining his title as a heel, was historic, but the match itself didn't quite meet expectations. Becky Lynch's historic win at WrestleMania 35, fast forward to WrestleMania 35, where Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair main evented the show in a triple threat that was red hot. The women's division was at its peak, and the momentum behind Becky was unmatched. Though the finish, Becky reversing Rousey into a pin, felt slightly anticlimactic to some viewers, the moment was monumental. Rousey took her first pinfall loss, and Becky walked out with both championships, earning the name Becky Two Belts. Tag Team Power in the WrestleMania 40 main event. WrestleMania 40 delivered another history-making main event as Roman Reigns teamed with The Rock to face Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The match blended star power, family drama, and explosive action. A major miscommunication occurred when Roman accidentally speared The Rock, but in the end, the Bloodline's dominance continued as The Rock pinned Cody, setting the stage for the following night's showdown. The legacy of WrestleMania's greatest triple threats. Triple threat main events have become part of WWE's storytelling fabric, from Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 31, one of the greatest twists in history, to Roman Reigns stacking Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 37 to retain his championship. The triple threat at WrestleMania 20 also remains widely remembered for its technical brilliance, though rarely discussed publicly due to later events involving one of its participants. And who could forget WrestleMania 30, where Daniel Bryan overcame impossible odds, defeating Triple H earlier in the night, and then making Batista tap out to win the WWE Championship in one of the most emotional endings ever. A night that changes WWE's future WrestleMania. 41's closing moments, from Heyman's double betrayal to Seth Rollins' shocking victory, will be referenced for years. It wasn't just a match, it was a statement, a shift, a fracture within WWE's power structure that will ripple through storylines, alliances, and rivalries for months to come. With Ronda Rousey possibly returning, Roman Reigns seeking answers, CM Punk demanding revenge, and Seth Rollins holding the victory of a lifetime, WWE's road ahead is more unpredictable than ever.